Hello everybody and welcome to another Transformers third-party video. In today's video I'm taking a look at the Unique Toys R-03 Dragoon, aka the Last Night Megatron. And as per usual, Unique Toys do not disappoint. This is arguably the very best version of this character made into a toy. The box is a little bit bland, but it's kind of got that metallic look to it. You've got Megatron on the side, you've got Dragoon on there, and Megatron on the back in both his vehicle mode and robot mode, and that's it. Yes, mine does have a few dents and dinks in it. It was shipped a few weeks ago in my Toys package, but Paul did shove loads of little random goodies for my son in the box just to kind of keep it all together, so that's why it's a few dinks, but I'm not a package collector anyway. It'll go straight in the bin after I've reviewed it. Let's see what's included in the box. As this was a pre-order version, we actually get the Shockwave worm. Comes with these spike sections you put on. It's too small, then a large, too small, then a large. And we get a ball socket on the back here so they can actually interlink. You would need loads to build the worm, and I don't know how much, if anything, these are going to be sold for individually, but it makes a really nice display base nonetheless. I may see if I can get like a turntable or something for this to fit onto so I can use it in my reviews, because as much as I love my current turntable, it is quite small, and these are a little bit intrusive when you have the bigger figures. Something like this would work an absolute treat, so stick with me and maybe that will happen. Before I get on to Megatron and his accessories, we do actually get an additional head. We get a new Prime head, which is more of the Last Night kind of look for him, as opposed to his Age of Extinction head. Much like before, we could lift the top of the head up, and it's spring-loaded, so you can do a little spinneroonie in there, rotating that around and bringing that back down, giving us the masked head. I'll show you a comparison for this and the normal Unique Toys head when we get the comparison figures out. We get Megatron's sword, again really nice blade, rather large with a tab so it fits into his hands. We get his shield, again really nice and sleek, and then we get his cannon as well with a nice chain and hook. It takes 3 batteries. I put 3 AG7s in there, and it literally just pulls open like so, and shove those in, and we've got nice beam on there, flashing beam, and super beam. The cannon has actually 2 pegging options. The idea is you can place this secondary peg down, so it's a longer one, and then we can place this onto here, like there, and then this is going to go in. Quite scary applying pressure to that peg, but there we go. That can just tab in. And then coming around to Megatron's back, we have this tab on here, and the shield can just tab on like so. That's if you want everything stored on his back. Can't say I'm particularly a fan of that. It looks a bit crazy, doesn't it? The idea is to put his cannon on his arm here. There's a small hole at the back there where this tube can fit. There's a tab on the back here that the sword can fit, so it sits diagonally. And of course, looking at the other arm, we've got the tab here so we can mount his shield. So we're left with something that looks like this. What a majestic figure. He actually looks like a real kind of knight, doesn't he? He's got gorgeous battle armor. I love the way everything tabs in. He just looks sensational. Don't get me wrong, he's not without his flaws. Personally, I would have really liked that original paint scheme that they teased. I can't remember who got the original sample, but it was really painted up nicely with battle damage, kind of weathered look to him. but this has kind of come out, this flat paint. It's not weathered of anything like that, but the actual figure itself is mind-boggling. Once again, said it once, I'll say it again, Unique Toys, when they do these movie figures, they use black magic. It is fantastic. The way they get things to bend, twist, turn and fold to convert from one to the other, it is sensational. You would be hard pushed to find a company that does the job as good as Unique Toys. Getting in up close and personal on that head sculpt, that is a gorgeous resemblance to the movie Megatron. In my opinion, the articulation is somewhat hindered on the head because he does have this very large chin, much like myself. It does kind of get in the way a little bit, but that's a hit I'm willing to take, really. Really do adore how that looks. Of course, much like they did with their Prime, we can actually switch this out, and I think it was Emgo that pointed out this really does look like the old Ghostbusters. I used to have a Peter Venkman, he used to squeeze his legs and he used to go "Aah!" In fact, I think I've still got him, he's probably downstairs, I think. But yeah, make sure these wing pieces are out, and the head will just rotate around. I've moved the sword, it was getting in the way, so the head rotates around anyway, and rotate the top of the helmet around, bring this back in, and push these, tab these in, and then the spike sections slide forwards and slide forwards. There we go, he's just kind of walking forward. It's just something really dominating about how this Megatron looks. Really, really gorgeous figure to pose as well. Highly articulated and just looks sensational in everything that he does. As those of you curious, it's not a perfect fit at all, but that's the Rensora flame effect there, kind of shooting out of his cannon. And here we have him all posed up with his sword again. I think that looks sensational. And for those of you who want to display your Megatron on the remains of a giant metallic graboid, there we go. Yeah, he can stand on there nicely, and he does look pretty darn good doing it. Now it's comparison time. Here he is alongside the metallic Rensora by Wei Zhang. Vastly different. Rensora is of course slightly modified version of the Last Night Voyager, I believe it was. It may have been the deluxe, but either way it was oversized and slightly modified. This is of course the metallic paint scheme, really nice paint scheme, love the weathering. Would have really kind of loved something similar like that done on Mega Dragoon, but cannot win them all, I guess. But affordability, I mean, Rensora is dirt cheap in comparison. Depends what you want from your collection. If you just want to stand in, then Rensora will do the job. If you want screen accuracy, then Unique Toys have nailed it. Now, scale may come into play. Personally, I think Prime is either too short or Megatron's too big. I believe Toy World, their Orion, is it their Orion? The new Knight Prime that they're doing, he's actually likely to be a bigger figure than Challenger, so maybe he'll scale better with Dragoon. I'm not entirely sure. Won't know until I have him in hand, but personally I think Prime is probably too small. Although that being said, this scale is pretty much identical to what we would got in the likes of the first movie, for example, where Megs was 33 feet, I think, and Prime was 28. So that if they were the same sort of scale, then yes, that would definitely still work. And here he is along with some of the other Last Night crew. I've not included my Dinobots, they're downstairs on display, but you get an idea of how he fares. He towers over pretty much everybody, but you know, I'm kind of okay with that. He's a big Decepticon. The only one I'm really not sure about is that scaling with Challenger. Now, as promised, I will just take a quick look at this additional head. In comparison, it is vastly more detailed. Obviously, this is the Nemesis Prime version, but I personally prefer the Last Night head. I think they've done a better job with that. This one, of course, to switch out, you just lift the head up and there's a screw underneath, and you just switch out the holes and place that in. But yeah, what do you think? Which one do you prefer? I really love the kind of Nemesis look on this guy, but at the same time, I don't know, the detailing, even on the likes of the eyes, etc., is just really sensationally done. Right, enough gushing over Megatron. Let's check out his articulation. The head, as previously mentioned, can look up, down, left and right. Really nice range in there. The shoulders, we have these ball mounted shoulder pads which can go up and down. Chest on mine does seem to unpop a little bit. We've got friction joint going round. That's an oddity for Unique Toys. Normally it's all ratchety goodness, but we've got ratchets coming up. We do have a butterfly joint on there as well, which is a kind of necessity for any sword wielding villain, in my opinion. We have double jointed bend on that elbow. Really nice kind of range on there. Love how that works. Comes up just far enough, in my opinion. We have fully articulated hands, as well as the wrist pivot. Again, an essential part of sword wielding, in my opinion. Let's bring that arm back down, bring the shoulder down, and bring this piece down. We have a nice waist rotation. These sections here are spring loaded, so you can pull them down to move the waist, but then they spring back up again. They do get in the way somewhat sometimes, but they do what they're meant to, I guess. We can bring those up. The hip skirts can come sideways. These are kind of more of a flexible rubber, something we would expect from Hasbro. We have legs that can come this far forwards, this far back, out to the side. It's a good ratchet, but in my opinion could be a little bit tighter. I might want to tighten that up myself, see if I can just kind of tighten that screw. We do have a nice bend on that knee. Again, a very odd looking knee joint. I would have liked ratchets again, but I think it works what we've got. And we get some pivoting on those feet as well as up and down. But of course there were compromises on the articulation and the kind of ratchets, etc., used to make everything work in both modes, and this guy does work in both modes. Just look at that though. There's just something about him, isn't there? Now, as gorgeous as he looks, should we get him transformed up into his vehicle mode? So let's undo these hands, remove his sword. Just definitely one of my favourite figures that I've had in a long time. His legs do seem to want to do their own kind of thing, but I haven't put him down since I've had him. I just love messing around with him. He's just got so much going for him. Like I said, a little bit wibbly wobbly, but looks, aesthetic, just feel, accessories that are included, sensational. You do want to remove his weapons. Untab. Oh, crazy tight. Oh, there we go. From his arm. And same with his shield. Just gonna untab. Do worry about putting extra stress on that peg. You see that there already? Look. I need to sand that down slightly, or just not push it in so hard, but please just be mindful. Alright, the first port of action for this guy, we're going to pull this back piece off like so. This is going to fold in, and this is going to fold in like so. Come around to these front panels, and they're going to untab from here and untab from here. This piece here is going to lift up. This jet piece down like so. This panel opens up, this one opens up, this is gonna come down like so, this comes up, this forms the front of the jet. We've got our landing gear part underneath here. This is going to open up. This comes up like so. This comes out. This goes back in and tabs in. See the landing gear there? We can just pop that around. And this is going to come in. And this comes down. And those are going to push and tab back in. And there's that square tab underneath, which locks the landing gear kind of sled, I guess that is, into position. Looking at the underside of the jet mode, we've got these shoulder panels. They are on a hinge. I'm going to rock that hinge forwards, and then we've got this spiked section that's going to come down, and that's going to sit on the underside like this. You've got these hinges here. These are going to open up. I want to bring this piece out like so, and then this piece up like this. And if you look, this is going to come in, and there's a tab just at the top here. Push and tab that in. Just making sure that these chest panels push and tab into the neck of the jet. That now kind of keeps all of this panel locked into position. Now we're going to lay Megatron down. We're going to make him do the splits, and we've got this crotch tab here. As these parts are flexible, they just sit around, and that allows the crotch tab to come up to the top. And then grabbing the thigh on each of these, they want to rotate so the thighs are facing upwards. So you then want to untab the knee. Basically there's a tab just at the top here. That's going to push and disengage. That now extends that large metallic kneecap. These thighs are tabbed in together. You want to untab it like so. And this is basically going to come down, and this whole panel here is going to rotate. Let's go this way. It's pretty quicker. Rotate around like so. And then this end piece, again, that's actually on a separate hinge. That rotates around like so. And we just bring these kind of gun sections upwards. Coming to the lower leg, you've got this panel here. This is going to just untab. And that's going to fold out and around to the side. Again, lots of kind of springs all in amongst this section. You've got these jet thrusters here. This section's going to come off the back. And this panel here is going to come up like so. Bring that up and out of the way. Bring this section up, and then this piece here is on a hinge. Again, bring this piece up. So much going on here. It is absolutely crazy. This comes up. This comes down like so, and you can see here we've actually got the wings that are unfolding. So do that and push that up. That's crazy, isn't it? That's all just hidden away inside those legs. Then come around to the feet section of the legs. Again, the toe section is spring loaded. These then come up like this. Rotate those around, and God, it's a really stiff hinge. There we go. Rotate that around and just push and tab those in. So with both their wings kind of opened up, we should have a puzzle that looks something like this. So you want to rotate Megatron's head around, and that's going to fall down. And from here, just apply a little bit of pressure, and that's actually, Megatron's head is actually on a sliding hinge. So with it all the way down, it does tuck away pretty nicely in the back there. With the head tucked away, you can bring the shoulders down. Using this hinge here, we're going to bend it down. There's a sideways elbow action going on there. That's going to bend in. And we've got these lasers, I guess they are, which can just pop up like so. Right, we now need to work our magic here. You can see I've kind of folded all of this in. It's not the easiest folding, but we need to do it nonetheless. Let's turn this one around first, because this needs to be on top, like so. So that's going to come up like this. This here will come down, like so. And this, as you can see, is going to fold inwards and upwards. So compress this into the void. This comes up. Let's just need to keep working these in. You know, you're kind of there when this is lining up with this gap. We need to come round and we'll look at what we've got here. Make sure the wings are down. As you can see, there's a tab just under here. That's going to line up. So push that in, make sure that lines up with the jet thruster. There's a tab on the end there. That's going to push and line up. So that's nice and tight. And it's just a matter of making all of these work. You need to tuck in your hands like so, tuck in your thumb. There's a tab on the underside here. There's a tab just here. That's going to square off and tab in. Like so. Fantastic. Right, you then want to grab this piece here. It's going to come off. This comes untabbed like so. And then look, this is going to come all the way up, comes over and around the fist. And then push and tab in. I just want to square these off, make sure they're all fitting in nicely. Make sure that these panels are down and they come down and they just push and they just push. Make sure that these are tabbed in here. There's a tab just the other side of this. Just straighten everything up. Everything seems to be tabbed in where it should. Let's move the sled piece upwards. Now we have them fully transformed up. It's not bad, is it? Not bad at all. Transformation is not as easy, obviously, as the oversized Voyager, obviously, but still works nonetheless. I think we do have a kind of working cockpit section which does lift up. We need a very small action figure to fit in said void, but it works. We have the cannon mounted on the top there. It just pegs in using that longer handle, and you see the chain just wraps around and tabs in here. Let's put these out to the side slightly. I think, you know, for what it does, I think that's pretty darn decent. It ticks a lot of boxes for me. His bot mode is sensational. Absolutely adore the bot mode. To give you an idea of scale, here he is with MP10. That's a pretty big jet, yeah, if I do say so myself. I still think that possibly the Rensora pulls off jet mode better, so that's okay for me because I have both. But if you want him for jet mode, it's okay. I just don't enjoy the transformation process. But that's a route we have to take if we want all of that bot mode. I mean, there's a lot of bot mode for your buck. Yeah, really do love what Unique Toys are doing. I know they're already working on their Age of Extinction Galvatron, probably the worst rendition of a bad guy in the Transformers continuity, in my opinion. But the figure does look pretty darn awesome from what I've seen from the screen grabs. Its truck mode seems to work, and bot mode looks sensational. I just hope that it's as big as this beast of a bot as well. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. Do you already own this? Are you thinking of picking it up? Or are you more than happy to carry on with your Rensora? Once again, I'd like to thank Sir Toys for making this video possible. They didn't have this in stock, so I added it to my want list function, and then they got it in. Hope you're all keeping safe. For myself and the rest of the Collectables household, good. Bye.